I'm back again. Hello, everyone. And now I'm delighted to be joined by Geoff Ramm, who is an amazing motivational speaker and was due to be our keynote speaker for Day One Inspiration of Newcastle Startup Week in May, the physical event, which obviously couldn't happen. And we did an online event instead. And we've done another online event today, this week. So Geoff has kindly agreed to join us for a live stream, which he is still amazing. It's not the full experience, the full Geoff Ramm experience of seeing him on stage. It's something really special. But Geoff, how's it been going for you? How are you doing?
I'm all right, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm having a great week.
Have you got your Uber Eats? Have you been to the toilet? Because you've been sat in that same position for 5 days. I'm getting a bit worried.
I've got a potty.
Right. Great.
You can get special chairs, can't you, with the seat that comes out?
It's called a commode.
Oh, right, okay, but it's not one of them. It's not one of them.
We can educate a lot of people today. Commodes, it is, but yeah, no, I'm good, and you're all right. We've just had a quick chat there before backstage, but yeah, all right. Different, weird, mad, crazy, sad, happy.
Uh-huh.
We go through 1,000 emotions every hour, I think. I certainly have. So, but we're healthy-ish. We're good-ish. Let's crack on. Yeah.
Well, you're looking healthy, and you're just saying you've never walked so much in your life, so you're getting out and about a lot.
Honestly, I walk. We live in Seaburn, the Costa del Seaburn. So I walk down. I go via ice cream shops and fish chip shops. So go past Mincellas, up to the other Mincellas, through Whitburn Park, and past the Academy of Light, and every couple of days, just to clear the head. Let's be honest, we've all been drinking too much the last 6 months, and if I don't walk, I'm just going to literally be zoomed out. I might just have a heart attack on Zoom. Has anybody died on Zoom live? I wonder. But anyhow.
There'll always be a first. You'll always be remembered.
It'd go viral, wouldn't it?
It'd be like Tommy Cooper, yeah. And then everyone's like, "Oh, this is brilliant! Like, this is a great act he's doing here."
Yeah, just walking in, literally.
Don't be that guy.
Walking and talking. I think that's my new forte. Walking and talking. But it's good, mate. We're good. Thank you.
But your business though is like professional speaking, motivational speaking, big conferences all around the world. So obviously that's stopped, hasn't it? So
yeah.
How have you adapted to that, or have you not been able to? And you just had to think, well, okay, that's it. Nothing's happening. Now it's time to do something else until things pick up again.
Oh, if you look at my timeline, so January, February, I was easily on for the best year of ever, right? I've been 18 years in business, 12 years, I think, as a speaker. It's about 12 years. And it's been building for many, many years. The last 6 or 7 years have gone ballistic. 2020, I must have done about 30 conferences in a couple of months. So I was literally back to back. The nice thing was it was all UK. So I was driving to Cardiff, across the Hull, up to Scotland, down to here. And it was lovely getting in my car, which I love, and doing everything UK-wise. And then, of course, it hit, and literally every single booking, everything I had was postponed. So it was a real knee-jerk. Geoff, we've seen your contract, but we can't, and we're going to have to. And do you mind? Can we? And we had this conversation, me and you, exact conversation. Contracts are great; they're legally binding, but this is not a legally binding time. Not for me. I talk about celebrity service and customer service and experience, and I said, don't worry. We'll just ensure that 2021 is an even greater event than you could ever imagine. And people are like, oh, thank you so much. And it was just living in those times. So my diary just went whoosh. And then, of course, everybody is buying green screens. Well, most of the people I know of in the speaking world were just buying green screens, microphones, lights, and all this stuff, and started flogging online. And there was this, as you know, this deluge of online things. But this is the sort of early days, the early sort of couple of months. So from diaries just going whoosh out, I think it was about the 3rd month in. God, it's all to pot this year. About the third month in of whatever we were going through, and those little green shoots, and I had clients, existing clients, potential new clients, said to me, Geoff, we need help. Our staff, they can still train, they can still learn on but whether we're retail, whether we're online, whether we're manufacturing, whether we're finance, whatever sector it was, people still needed and wanted the stories, the ideas, the inspiration, and the delivery.
Yeah.
So that was great. So things started to pick up. And we talk about adapting. I'm going to be very honest and brutal with you here. I didn't invest in the green screen, as you can see. But
I like it. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's just photos. Is it Is it photos of the movie?
Signed. Yeah. I mean, so I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I have just a full wall. I started collecting these a few years ago. Went to Disney with the kids 4 years ago. Oh, that was cancelled this year. Excellent. So for the very first one, where am I? The very first one was Carrie Fisher.
Wow.
Obviously before she died. So I bought this about 4 or 5 years ago, and it started off a bit of a thing. And I started, so Christmas or birthdays, family, friends, Grace Elliott, they would buy me something for the wall. So it's just become a bit of a thing. If I was to have a green screen, Paul, I would want that as my background. So I just went uber basic, and I'm thinking, this is the year of authenticity.
Yeah. Well, that's you, like you say. Like I know from things that I've seen you share online and some conversations and in your books as well, how into Star Wars you are. So that's the perfect backdrop for you, and it looks good.
It's my home office. Look, I've had a home office for 18 years. I have no interest in hiring staff. I have no interest in getting some lovely swish, whatever studio office. It's not me. It's not. I travel. Yeah. I travel to events, conferences all over the world, and that's a massive thing that I love. So I'll be brutally honest with you. Sort of how I adapted. I just went, this is me. You're buying content. You're buying what I'm saying. And I didn't go down that whole. Don't get me wrong. It looks great, but the more plugs we plug in to create a virtual experience, the more things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Now is the time. And this isn't me saying this. This is my client saying this for the last 6 months. We need content. We need the delivery. We need the shot in the arm. I had a conversation an hour ago with a client. Geoff, we just need a shot in the arm. We're all feeling everything right now. We need that impetus. We need that passion, enthusiasm. We need fun that we're not getting elsewhere. So this is me. I've adapted in terms of I've brought nothing to the virtual party apart from my content. And funnily enough, when we first spoke a while ago about Newcastle Startup Week, this was going to be the biggest one ever. That's what we said when we had lunch in Roga Cafe. This is going to be the biggest one ever, and it was. I did a video when I was in Sydney, Australia, promoting, helping to promote the event. And although virtual is great, it's like non-alcoholic beer, right? It might taste similar, but it's not as exciting. Do you know what I mean?
You don't get the energy. Do you know
what I mean? He's Lewis Hamilton. So you imagine the Monaco Grand Prix, the spectacle of it's stunning. The Monaco Grand Prix is given Lewis Hamilton and the entire grid a push bike. It's still the Monaco Grand Prix, and they're still going to go around pretty fast, but it's not the same. I want to hear, I want that zing. So, yeah, I've done a couple of live events. I've actually done a couple of in-person live events, and I think if the size is big, if the venue hall can accommodate, and the procedures are in place, certainly for internal teams and maybe in their own offices, it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done. But yes, a lot's gone virtual. I've adapted. Funnily enough, like I say, when we talked about having this event, I talk about observational marketing, I talk about celebrity service, and the things that I see and inspire people in my slides, my photographs, all original material is on the screen. So it's almost like a tag team partnership that I have with my material. So people can see it, they're in the room, they're they're in there as part of the experience. But funny enough, since going virtually, I've not shared a slide.
Okay.
Not one slide. And again, the more we add in, the more that the audience can be, we can switch off.
Yeah.
So use props. So I bring things out and go, ta-da! And that's how I've adapted. Use a lot of my props that sometimes I can't get on a plane, but I can use them in my office. So yeah, from those early days of, oh my word, the sky's falling in, to a few green shoots, it's nowhere near as busy. Nowhere near as busy as 2020 was going to be the greatest ever year.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are. Here we are. What can we do, eh?
Yeah, no, but that's a great testament to you that you can do that without the big screen behind you as well. Because I know, like, when you do give your talks, it does look amazing. Well, you look and sound amazing, but like the slides behind you as well, because you're commenting on what's behind you, and it's almost like a really top-notch stand-up comedian, like the best stand-up comedian. You are, like, it's so slick and well rehearsed, like the way every word counts, every line counts, and it's all with the slide. So not having that behind you, but still being able to engage people, that I think that just shows your experience and how knowledgeable you are about the subject as well. You haven't just been doing it for 5 minutes. You're not just winging it. You're not just talking because you think you've got something. As you are that's why you are a professional world-class speaker. So you can do that. So that, yeah.
I'm going to shut up now. Just keep talking. This is great. We'll finish the week. Just keep talking. Can I record this?
Yeah, of course. You can use that as a testimonial.
I suppose if I looked at my content, and regardless of virtually, I'm telling a story. So I build the story up, and I'm in the story. I'm always in the story. Yeah. But the heroes of my stories are never me. It's always the person. I put them on the pedestal, not me. So the heroes are always there, but I build a but then the reveal is always what I'm going to show you next. Now, I know when I'm going to reveal it, and I know what I'm going to reveal, but the audience has no idea. And that's one of the key things for me. The audience has no idea what I'm going to speak about next. No idea what's going to come on screen, no idea what I'm going to bring out in the virtual world. And that builds an experience. Yeah. I want to know more. I enjoyed that last story. I want more. And it's, I didn't set out purposely to, this is how you do it. I didn't model off anybody. I didn't create anything. I just did my stuff.
Yeah. That's where it's hard, because you're feeding off the energy from the audience as well, and people are looking at each other and they're laughing and smiling, and the clapping and the cheering, and I've seen videos when you've done in the US as well, and they're really hyper. So would you say US audiences are more hyper than UK audiences? Or
yes, without a doubt. I mean, all I'll say is Northeast audiences understand the Sandancer accent, which is lovely, right? You have to dial it down a little bit. But yeah, again, my style, my accent. You see, when an American speaker comes over here, we're a bit like, we're a bit Hollywooded. We're a bit like, it sounds like the movies. And I always think that with American speakers, they sound so much better. But obviously, on the flip side, when we go over there, it's kind of, it's in English, Do
they make it sound like Hugh Grant?
Yeah. Do you know Kate Winslet? Yeah, she lives in Cleveland. No, I don't. She's but yeah, a bit more hyper. I think going back to, and I'm a big comedy fan. I mean, I couldn't tell a joke to save me life, but I love comedy. I love going to see comedians. And they've always said, and our grandparents will have said this, and it's renowned around the world, that if you can crack the Northeast, you can crack anywhere. Okay. Real tough market to deliver something
right,
funny, engaging, entertaining, and not just get away with it, but people enjoy it.
Okay.
And I have found it's really interesting, isn't it? Perceptions around the world and even locally as well. So I find the Northeast live event market, it's not easy. It's not easy, okay? I find Cumbria a challenge as well.
Right.
Cumbrians, and there might be some people watching, but they know this. I've spoken so many times all over Cumbria. I love it. I love it to bits. But you've got to be ready. You've got to be prepared, because some speakers would die on their platforms. Well, I kept but it's a tough audience. Dallas is far easier than Carlisle. It's really funny. It's really funny because the perceptions that we have of people in areas and things. I mean, I've been warned. I've been pre-warned. I remember doing an event years ago in Estonia, in Tallinn. Tallinn, stunning city, brilliant. You'd have to go some decade. So spoke in Tallinn, and the night before the conference, one of the main sponsors, we were having this meal around the table, and I always remember he said, "I have." This is going to sound like a James Bond bad guy now. He said, "I have seen your videos, Geoff." I said, "Okay." I said, "We were very funny, very, very funny indeed." I said, "Oh, thank you." I said, "We do not laugh here in Estonia."
Okay.
Joke. You thought that was a joke, and I went, "Oh, yeah." Nobody said, "No, we do not laugh." And my world shattered, because I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to start off with this funny story, end with this funny story. Actually, I'm looking at the whole content on my slide deck and thinking, but after 30 seconds, they're rolling in the aisles, they're laughing at stuff, they're engaging, and it's like, oh my word. And it's not until you've been, done, and gone. And I think that's one of the biggest things about what I do. It's opened up my eyes. You know, Iran all those years ago, sort of 11 years ago, you know, changed my career, changed what I could do, changed, you know, which I'm not going to tell too much, because this is going to be my main story when we go live in 2021. But yeah, Dallas is easier than Carlisle. You heard it here first. Get that trending.
Well, again, that's experience, because you're ready for anything now, aren't you? So you can roll with that, because I think you know, I've spent quite a lot of work here in the northeast, but across the north of England as well, in different roles. And I do sometimes think northerners generally are a bit like, go on then, impress me. You know, they're waiting for you to kind of like win them over, rather than like being straight away into it. And but if you can do that, you know, if you can, which you obviously can. And then the very first year we did this Startup Week event, I had this friend of mine came over from New York called Amber Ray. I mean, she's like beautiful, sounds amazing, looks amazing, amazing story all about choosing wonder over worry. And she acted out the two voices in her head, the one that said she couldn't do things and the other one that said she could. And it was very, very well done. And people loved it. But afterwards she said, that was such a British audience. She said, I had no idea if they were enjoying it, because everyone was just like head down on their phones. But she said, I've never had so much Twitter love ever, because people were like raving about it on Twitter, but they were typing it instead of like telling her like from their face. And it's weird, isn't it?
Honestly, there's a quick one for you. I never do quick ones, but here's a semi-quick one for you. And one of my very first events in Cumbria, in Carlisle, was for the Chamber of Commerce. Umpteen years ago. I suppose it was under my brand of Mercury Marketing, so it wasn't as a geofframm.com speaker brand. It was even before that. It was pre that. So that was the time in which I was 95% consultant, 5% speaker. So it must have been that time. It was years ago now. And it was actually when the celebrity service story was born, okay, which is another time for us to do. So it was actually when it was born. But this event, the first half was all about my marketing material, marketing talk, and then we had a break, and then the second half was customer service. And there was 300 in the audience. It was one of the hotels, Hilltop. That's the Walking Dead, isn't it? Hilltop. But there was some hotel in Carlisle, and everybody's 299 people, loving, laughing, giggling, shaking hands, business cards. Everybody's happy. And there's a guy in the middle, and he must have been 3 times the size of me, big. And he must have killed 14 sheep to get all the wool for this sweater, right? Big, his shoulders were huge. And he literally stared me out for the entire hour and a quarter. And there's people say, focus on the 299. It was impossible. He's like,
looked like he was going to murder you.
Arms were folded, so I'm thinking, geez, he's going to kill me here. And we had, all I can do is notice him because he just looks like 4 sheep put together, and he's staring me out. And it was the most nerving thing. We got to the break, and I'm speaking to you, Paul, me and you having a chat, and answering questions. You got a couple of questions from what I've just said. Yeah. And I notice him, and he's literally in my peripheral vision on the right hand side. I'm thinking, I know that sweater from anywhere. He's still there. I think he wants to talk to me. I'm still talking to you, and I couldn't concentrate on you because I'm thinking, he's there. Anyhow, we finished. You walked away, and I turned around and I said, "Oh, you all right?" And he's still like that. He went, "I wasn't going to come today, but I'm glad I did."
Wow.
Tell you this. I was like, having a laugh. He said, "No, I'm glad I did." I said, "All right." I said, "What have you got so far?" And he said, "This. He said, "I don't go to things like this." I said, "Right." He said, "Have you done much over here in Cumbria?" And I said, "Probably never again." I said, "I've done 1 or 2 things. This is my second event." He said, "If we like you, we love you. If we don't like you, we'll tell you." I've never been so scared in all my life. Anyhow, we're talking about pivot and adapt, and I'm talking about sheepskin jumpers. Anyhow, but it's different. But it's experience, and I can only do and I can only give the best I can give. Not everybody in the audience is going to love it. Not everybody in the audience is going to agree. That's kind of how it is, It's just how it is, Yeah. You go to a football match, some people might early because they've lost interest. They've had enough, or you can't keep everybody happy all of the time. But
that's a great. Yeah, well, you've obviously won him over, yeah, bloody hell. And I wonder if he tells that story as well. That one time when he went to an event and loved it, and everything else since then's been shit. But
honestly, he's the most scariest guy on earth. But honestly, when we spoke a while ago and we agreed to do Newcastle Startup, which I can't wait. I can't wait because it'll be flipping brilliant, right? And I think there'll be a real outpouring of emotions when we get back together. I think there'll be a real camaraderie. I hope there is. And I think there'll be a need and a want and a greater need to get back, really get back. This is good, but to really get back, and there's no better way. You're thinking of starting a business, you're in business, and I think it'll be a superb year next year. But as soon as you said, it's going to be in Newcastle, I'm thinking it's great. I can leave in the morning, I can speak, and I can be back in the afternoon. I can be back for my tea. I can get on the metro. I could actually get on the metro, be there and back in 20 minutes. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, it's going to be a tougher crowd.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's Newcastle. I think that northeast.
It's a northeast thing. But that's fine. I've been there, done it before.
It is weird. Yeah, it is weird though. I think it's like when you're from out of town, you're seen as exotic. Like you said, if you're American, if you've got an American accent, straight away, people are like in awe of you because you're an American speaking. So
put it this way, in terms of an event planning guide to event planning, right? So where was this Amber Ray? Was it? Is that was her name?
New York.
Where was she from?
New York.
Right. Okay. Sorry. So ladies and gentlemen, start of week 2016, was it? 16, 17? All the way from New York. Now you don't have to say anything else.
Yeah.
The whole audience is going, "Oh, New York." All the way from New York. Now, 2021, ladies and gentlemen, great to see so many. This is the biggest Newcastle Startup event all the way
from Seaburn.
It's like, this is what we do.
From an exotic place on the other side.
The flip side is, and I've seen this many, many times, most noticeably, I saw it in Johannesburg in the early days, many, many years ago. And Michael Jackson, a good friend of mine, and brilliant MC, he was emceeing this conference in Johannesburg, wonderful venue, about 1,000 people deep. And I was opening the conference, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the creator and author of clients include, which all sounds impressive, but we've all got that type of stuff. All the way from the UK. And you could see the audience going, and then a little bit go, oh. It's interesting. The dynamics of where somebody comes from straight away for the audience is like, oh, I think I might listen because I won't have heard of this before, or this is different, or this sounds exciting mildly. So I might have to, I don't know, I might have to set up a satellite office. Where should I say I'm from? We'll make up a satellite office when you introduce me, Paul. That's what we'll do.
Oh, Washington, DC, or something.
We're not China, right? We'll keep that one quiet.
Did they ever say you're from London? Because years and years ago, I used to be a DJ, like semi-professional DJ, right? And I have DJed in some pretty cool places around the world, but sometimes on a poster or a flyer it would say London. Because to an American or someone in South Korea, it's like, well, it's right next at the same place. So I don't know if it's ever been billed as, well, it makes more sense from the UK, but if they ever said Geoff Ramm all the way from London.
Not at all. Not at all. No, not at all. I can imagine the DJ thing being a bit of a different thing, but no, not at all.
Yeah. Cool. So during the lockdown, am I right? Have you been writing your book? Have you been working on that, or have you finished it? Or you were talking about doing a book. I remember you saying you were gonna do one.
Yes. So this is going to be the follow-up to Celebrity Service. So the second edition came out 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I think now. But since it's so much more content, and a lot of my stuff on stage is content for the book, and then I add to the stories in a little bit more detail. So yeah, when this all happened, I think we might have been 2 weeks into the whole, this stuff's happening and things are happening here. I decided that's it. I'm going to write the follow-up to Celebrity Service. So I've just literally signed it off with the publishers 2 days ago. The jacket is designed. The title, the jacket is done. We're just working on the back jacket. But it's all done. The copywriters have gone through it. It is in the can, as you were. So it normally takes, I've wrote 3. I've wrote 2 OMG books, 1 Celebrity Service, and easily it takes me a year. On the road, young family, bits and bobs, go to the match, there's stuff that gets in the way of writing a book. But quite often I'll get on the train, down to London for an event or wherever it may be, and I've got 3.5 hours. So I'll tinker about and start pulling chapters and ideas together. This year, there we go. So I was either Zooming or I was typing. So I made the decision, let's write it. And my plan from, was it May time, so I was pulling everything together. I'm thinking, I wonder if this is going to take a year, because actually I've got the time to create something. I've actually got the time, and if I can focus myself just a wee bit more than I've ever done, because my aim for this, Paul, was a January 2021 launch, for many reasons. One, everybody's going to want to see the back of this bloody year. We're going to want a fresh start. And people want a fresh start, want fresh ideas, fresh whatever. Brand new book, January, it was the perfect time. And inside is full of clients, full of stories, full of observations, full of things that I've seen and done and worked with, and challenges. So it's an interactive book. It's going to be full color. So the first time ever, it's going to be full color, because a lot of my stuff's visual and colorful and photographs. So it's going to be a full color book, and it's the early days of this crazy year. I said, be proud of what, when we come out of this, be proud of what you've done. When you look back, be proud of what you've done, and look what you've done with these live events and reaching out and bringing people in and helping and supporting, not just the Northeast, but any business, I suppose. And you'd be proud of that. Do you know what you've done? And I'm proud of many things that we've done this year, but I wanted something physical. I wanted something in my hand, and something that in January 2021, I can sign a copy. Dear Paul,
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to work with you in the coming months. Best wishes, take care. And, you know, I put it in a nice shiny envelope, and it arrives sometime in January to you, and it's a gift. And I can't wait. Can't wait. So yes, that's what I've been doing. It's written, it's done. The jacket, the title, everything it's done.
Can you reveal what the title is yet, or not? You're not allowed.
No, just not just yet. Not just yet. I've got I'm working on a potential video to sort of announce it, like ta-da, and then to look at pre-orders. So I want to keep it a little bit of a secret.
Well, when you're ready to announce, or we'll promote it through all the channels as well, and let you get some extra orders that way. And now, can't wait to read it. And I mean, you mentioned there about sending books to. I don't think I've actually said thank you to you, but I was going to say thank you for sending the cards and the chocolates, because like I mentioned the other day when I did an interview with Hillary.
Yes.
Today morning we talked about this, talked about brand activation of companies and personal brands as well. Just saying, someone who does it really well is you. You send cards to clients who book you for talks, which is really lovely, because you very rarely get anything like that through the post. So it really stands out, and that lovely personal touch. And then the box of chocolates that went down really well with my daughter. I think you saw the video where she was that's for me. That's for me.
Because put all the stuff that she wanted, and it's like, you can have the nuts. It was the best thing I saw. I just smiled, and no, you're absolutely welcome, Paul. I mean, this is. Hang on. I'll just slide away. I'll get the prop. Hang on. I'm not leaving you. I'm literally 10 seconds away.
Okay.
I'll show everybody this. So this is actually part of this. One of my stories that I tell, some recent content. So just a very quick one for everybody, and some of you may have seen this. I think it's still a cover on my Facebook page. So, so all those postponements that I said back into 2021 and all the rest of it, clients, and I'm looking at my clients, right? The ones that have booked me. Look at the clients I've worked with, January, February with Warner Brothers, with Potter Studio, with Swift Caravans, with Voco Hotels, and some wonderful, wonderful brands.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, just bang, the doors were shut, and furlough and all these flipping words I've never heard of just were mainstream. Mm-hmm. And, wrote the book. And one of the things I did about the book, just to quickly go back a second, is I reached out to about a dozen of my clients, and I interviewed them. I interviewed who've booked me to speak, but I know that they do some great things. So I reached out and said, would you like to be in the new book? And the email responses I had, Paul, was something phenomenal. They said, you've just made my week. It's been a really crap few days. You put the biggest smile on my face. And I was like, brilliant. So the time I've had this year has enabled me to reach out and do a 2-hour interview from my clients, which I would never have had, ever have had. The book wouldn't have happened had it not been for this. So, look at the positives. And it was back in May, June. It must have been June time. I'm sitting around going, I've done lots of videos. I've done lots of podcasts. I'm sharing stuff. And I thought, what can I do to put a smile on my clients' faces? Those who booked me and we can't go ahead, but also clients I've worked with and worked with a lot, maybe it's over the last 2 or 3 years. So I went back to my database and I said, right, now I do this every year. I've done this for 18 years. Mm-hmm. Once I get booked, if you book me for Newcastle Startup, what I would do is in September, I would have Christmas cards already printed. Mm-hmm. In back into September, when all of the chocolates and all of the Christmas chocolates come on the shelves. Right, in supermarkets. And what happens across social media is people freak out. So somebody takes a photograph and goes, I can't believe it. Look, Asda have got all this in. We haven't even had Halloween yet. And everybody kicks off, right? And it goes viral. That's the time when Grace, my daughter, and I just love, because great, the chocolates are in. So we would take 3 trolleys each in Asda, 11 o'clock at night, and fill them to the brim of selection boxes and all sorts of lovely stuff. And then I make our own boxes up. So we've got our own boxes up with the card inside, and I package it, seal it, go to the post office in Bolden, and then go all over the world. And when you receive it, the first week, it's normally the 2nd, 3rd, 4th of December. When you receive this, Paul, you won't be expecting it. Right? There's a Christmas card there that's handwritten, signed by myself, and best wishes and all that. But you've got this great big load of chocolate. Now, I could give you a big expensive bottle of whiskey, and I could do all that, but the vast majority of clients who book me are in a team. And if I give you a bottle, or if I give you flowers, or if I give you something, it's very personal, one-to-one. I want the whole team to have a bit of a smile on their face. Cut to 2020, I just came up with this idea, and I brought Christmas forwards. I know his number. I phoned Santa and I said, I need help. He said, "What?" I said, "Are you doing that?" He said, "No, I only work one day a year." I said, "Right." I said, I want to bring Christmas forwards. So I created this Merry Summermas. I just called it that in my computer, a Merry Summermas campaign. And what looks like, this is the card, well, you know, but I'll make sure everybody here. So this is the card. It looks like, obviously, Santa's hat, but it's actually an ice cream.
Yeah, I loved it.
So a bit of a summer, Christmas feel, whatever it may be. But I put on there, so that's, that side there. So this is blank. Guess what I do? I write in there. None of this pre-printed rubbish. And I just said there, this year everything is turned upside down. It's not easy to keep track of the day, month, or season. With this in mind, I'm bringing Christmas forwards. And I just put a personal message in there. And all I wanted to do, Paul, was put a smile on the face. I put a smile on your face. You created a video. Your daughter loved it. You've been through a crap time. I've been through, we all have. You've got to see a way. And when I talk about celebrity service, you've got to see a way of creating those moments that are, it's not in your plan. This isn't in the plan. I've always done this for 18 years, but the 2020, the plan is gone. Everybody's plan, holidays, whatever, it's gone. So make your own. Create your own plan and don't be fixated with what you've always done before. So, that whole keep going or pivot, I kept going, but I pivoted at a different time. Why not? We've got to do something different. We've got to do something different as entrepreneurs, as businesses, owners. We've got to do something different. Otherwise, we're just sort of praying that it's going to come back soon. We've got to create it ourselves. I think, which is what I'm really wanting to say. Yeah, you've got to make those movements.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I did. I loved it when I got that card, and yeah, the box of chocolates. Like you say, I mean, I'm sure you spend a fortune on chocolates and the effort that goes into it as well. But it doesn't have to be expensive, like to do that. But that is such a lovely touch to get that, because you don't get that from anyone else. And but the fact that you've done that, and then the card as well, is just brilliant and shows that you're not just a great speaker, but you're a very clever marketeer and creative guy as well. So just that upside down ice cream looking like Santa, and and that Christmas is upside down and the year's upside down. I loved it. So well
it's
done.
Words, I think, and just a shameless, lovely plug, hopefully for 2021, which we'll do plenty of those actually in the next 8 months. But it was a customer service campaign. The impact I wanted was a smile on the face, and it did that, and I was delighted. Okay. A couple of people said to me, that's brilliant marketing, and I never really saw it as marketing. But it was interesting. So from a marketing point of view, you should say about creativity and where do we get these ideas from? I suppose of everything, any skill or attribute that I've got, it's the ability to come up with ideas. Whatever situation, whatever plight we're in, or we're on a high or on a low, it's the ability to come up with ideas, but then action them, see them through. And for me, just going back to what we're going to do, you and I, when everybody gets into a real room sometime, is I want to share people the ideas, how I come up with the ideas, and give people the techniques
Yeah.
So as soon as the conference finishes, they can do this to come up with fresh, creative, innovative ideas, because this is what it's about. We always see the great ideas unfold and go viral.
Mm-hmm.
How many entrepreneurs, businesses, startups going, I wish that was me. I wish I'd done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one of the biggest things I want to do at your event is reveal 1 or 2 techniques on how you can create these OMG moments for yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, the book is done. The book is signed off. We're going to go to print in December. I'm going to do pre-orders. Maybe it's around about November. Ready for January. Me and you are going to go live 2021 at some point.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do, well, I don't know if you've been following, but I'm going to do something. It's not necessarily going to be a Startup Week event, but it's possibly going to be under a different name, but it'll be in May. There will be, and I think it'll be even bigger than what I was planning for this year. So, but you will be on stage at that event in May. So I'll update you on that after the day. But
this great big guy with a great big sheepskin thing right in the front.
Inside the mind of Geoff Ramm, and and him on stage as well. Now that's well, that's what you were going to do this year, wasn't it? You were going to talk about you were going to talk about how you got started, and then come back again at the end of the day and kind of the finished article, kind of where you are now, so they could see that journey. But yeah, exciting. Can't wait. And you're starting to get more. Well, I've noticed you're doing more and more online gigs, and you are doing some live events as well, aren't you? So things are picking up.
Yes, I was speaking in Australia. So I had a conference. I was speaking from 1 till 2 in the morning. The last time I spoke at 1:30 in the morning, I was in a nightclub. I think that was 20 odd years ago. What's going on? Very, very surreal. So yeah, do a lot of live events, and actually, it's interesting. It's really interesting. This from an events point of view. I've done quite a lot in Australia. I've had a couple of clients actually say to me, "We couldn't have afforded to have flown you out to do this, but because of the world we live in, Zoom and other brands are available. We can do this." So it opens up a couple of, when the big door closes, a couple of little windows have opened. So that's been interesting. But yeah, a lot of live events.
Yeah. And the best way people want to keep in touch and find out about your book is through, obviously you can go on your website, but Facebook, that's mostly where you post stuff, and LinkedIn.
Yeah, well, the usual outlets, isn't it? I suppose if you want to, let's have a look. Let's go from the top. So the mothership, right? geofframm.com. So that's the mothership, my website. Loads of videos on there, bits and bobs. Help yourself. Next, YouTube. So if you just type in Geoff Ramm, subscribe. There are, I think there's 70. I think this is what I rebranded the whole. That was another thing I did actually in lockdown. I had time to do it. I repackaged all of the videos and put them into groups. So there's 70 videos there. 70 videos. Oh, the one in Dallas. You can see people.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's 70 videos on there for my marketing, from my customer service, observations, me on stage, whatever that may be. Help yourself. Yes, usual. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I've done one on TikTok. That's it. I'm done. But reach out if I can help you. Great. Follow, watch, share with your teams. You know where I am. And Amazon. Oh yeah, Amazon. The trilogy, the books are on there at the moment. But if you want a better deal, shouldn't say this, Mr. Bezos, but send me an email and I can get them direct from the publishers for you for a better deal. So give us a shout. If you want the books, great. If you want to watch, help yourself. And that's how you can get a hold of me.
Yeah, brilliant. But best of all, to see you live. So everybody needs to come and see you in May. Fingers crossed, COVID permit, when they can come see you.
Let's just all walk up in, I don't know, astronaut suits or diving suits.
I was thinking that, I reckon in May, surely, if everyone just turns up with a mask on, it'd be all right, wouldn't it? I don't know. Anyway,
I mention one last thing.
One?
that I hope might. And it's a story. It's a joke. It's a joke story, but I don't tell jokes, so bear with me, okay? But it's something that I've actually I heard about years and years and years ago, and I thought was really funny. And I've actually mentioned it more to clients and more times on videos than any other, because this is the year of which it is. And it's for anybody here who is, whether you're looking to carry on, whether you're looking to pivot, whether you're looking to adapt, whether you're looking to change, I don't know, or in the start of a business. And it's a little bit of a mantra. It's a joke, but it's a little bit of a mantra because it's what I think of constantly. And the ice cream card and the chocolates is just a part of that, okay? Some of you may have heard of it, but here it is, right? There are two explorers in the jungle, and they come out of the jungle, and then they're in front of them is a great big clearing, and the jungle's on the other side. So they come out, they see this clearing, but on the other side of the clearing is this lion. And this lion turns and notices them. And the explorers are like, what do we do? What do we do? And one of the explorers reaches down and starts to take off his great big boots. And the other explorer says, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting my trainers on. He said, you're never going to outrun that lion. He says, I don't have to. I just have to outrun you.
I love it.
That is, if you want to talk about the competition, standing out from the competition, doing something different, if you want to really set yourself, this would be my mantra. All I have to do, I can't help, I just need to outrun, out-deliver, outperform, outserve any other speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds crazy because so many speakers are my best friends. You had Nigel on Monday, who was phenomenal. But I just have to outrun, outperform, have greater content videos. And that, personally, Paul, for anybody watching this or watching this in the future, hopefully it might just resonate. You just have to outperform everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just thought I'd leave you with that.
Love it. That's it. That is a great thing to remember. Yeah, you're right. So love it. Right.
Trainers on. Get your trainers on.
And you're gonna. Didn't you say you're getting some new trainers today? You know
what I mean? It's just the stories collide. What can I say?
Love it. Thank you. Right. That's been amazing. And lots of nice comments as well. So I don't know if you want to dip back in later and see what people.
I will do. Hello, everybody. Nice comment, people.
All right. Okay. Cheers, Geoff. And
my friend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.